Okay, so it's not actually terrible. I actually really like this movie, and I've been wanting to talk slash rant about the 2004 Phantom of the Opera film for a while, so I watched it back again, and I wrote down some of the points that just make me absolutely despise it, and also the ones that make me love it, and also why I hate and love this film and musical. So let's get right into that. I love the magical lasso motif that plays in the beginning. It's just really nice. Really nice touch. Despite the needless framing device of Raoul after the events of the musical in 1919, the visuals for it are actually really enjoyable. Maybe not necessarily good, but definitely enjoyable.
So, Mum, sir? Thank
The auctioneer's mustache is one of the best parts of the film. That f***ing monkey. Why is it here? Why is Christine talking to Raoul about it before she died? Why is Raoul also now nostalgic about the monkey? He never saw the monkey. He doesn't, like, maybe it's not even the same monkey. Why? Why the monkey? Patrick Wilson's voice in the prologue is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Lot 666, then.
Overall note that I love from the musical is that the chandelier is lot 666, which is a number that's often associated with the devil and demons and whatnot. And the chandelier is the entire thing that the original story, Le Phantom de l'Opera, is like based off of. The visuals in the beginning of the overture, which I know most people usually hate, I actually really like and think where in the title track it fails to match the energy of the music, does a really good job of matching it, as well as throughout the whole overture. The entire sequence is a really good representation of the chaos that tends to go on behind the scenes of any production, but especially one of this scale and from this time period. Why is Carlotta's dog there constantly? Like, why? The orchestration for this film is just absolutely fantastic. Very, very just like pleasant to listen to, and it's a great recording of the orchestra. It's a shame that a lot of the cast doesn't do it justice. Minnie Driver. That is all. Why does Piangi always have a little person version of him throughout the entire film? Like, why?
I'm sure you've read of their recent fortune amassed in the junk business. Scrap metal. Actually.
The scrap metal joke is so stupid. If it were a human being, I would slap the human being. Christine's voice seems like it's dubbed in, like, very poorly in post when she talks about how she and Raoul were childhood sweethearts. Really just does not fit at all.
Before my father died, at the house by the sea, he wouldn't recognize me. He didn't see you.
Meg is so real for that.
Especially a little blonde angel.
My daughter, Meg Giri.
And that exceptional beauty. No relation, I trust.
Ew.
An orphan, you say?
I think of her as a daughter also. Gentlemen, if you would kindly stand to one side.
Yes, Madame Giry being a decent human being and good mother figure for the only time in this film.
You bring my doggy.
Again with the dog. Why is it here?
Right.
The grovel delivery, actually kind of funny, I hate to admit.
I ate my yak.
But I wonder.
That is also really funny. It's funny. Why is everyone acting like Carlotta is bad? She's supposed to be good, which she is. She's just rightfully sick of all the phantomy things and is just over dramatic. That's her whole character. If she were bad, then she wouldn't be on as leading soprano for however many seasons.
What's going on up there? Please, monsieur, don't look at me. Scott's my judge. I wasn't at my post. Please, monsieur, there's no one there. Or if there is, well then, it must be a ghost.
Bouquet speaking his lines instead of singing them actually works in this scene, whereas throughout the film it usually doesn't, in scenes like Masquerade and things like that.
Surely there must be an understudy.
Understudy? There is no understudy for La Carlotta.
Oh, yeah, of course there's no understudy for the lead in a time where illness is rampant, especially if for the past 3 years these things have been happening, because that makes sense, for sure. I personally think that Madame Giry saying Christine Daae could sing it, sir, makes more sense than Meg, as she knows about the lessons with the Phantom, but Meg seems to be oblivious in Angel of Music, unlike Madame Giry, because obviously she knows.
Andre, this is doing nothing for my nerves. She's very pretty.
this makes no sense here, because in the stage musical, it's supposed to be a reference to him drinking. He has a little flask, and he's like, oh man, this is doing nothing for me. But not that Christine is shy, and she hasn't sung a single note. Like, come on now. That transition was actually really sick. That was cool. I liked that. That light is way too bright for the time. Who did this? She looks washed out and almost sickly, and there's no way that a light in that time, like a spotlight like that, would be that bright or could be that bright. Also, why isn't she moving around during Think of Me? Like, don't just stand there. Act. A park and bark this is not. Her voice, however, is really pretty. Oh god, here it comes. The stupid ass scalp shot. Whose idea was this? It's just bad. It's terrible. It's awful.
Can it be Christine?
So let me get this straight. Raoul recognizes her and enjoys her performance so much that he leaves? Why is this lady standing so far forward in the wings? If you can see the audience, they can see you. Why are you shouting, sir? Shut up. This is a Wendy's. I love Minnie Driver. Ramin Karimloo, who's my favorite Phantom of all time, as Christine's dad, is my favorite accidental Easter egg. So he's played Raoul the Phantom and Christine's father. It's beautiful. The flashback is interesting. Not good, not bad, but interesting. However, the exposition dialogue is pointless and is literally about to sing and get done in a much better way in like 2 seconds within 2 lines than what she does in that entire monologue. I don't always hate the line changes, and in fact, for this one, for Angel of Music, I think it actually really works, and works to the benefit of the film, as opposed to the detriment of it. What I do hate, however, is these stupid faraway long shots of Christine and Meg walking and singing. Maybe some close-ups, you know, maybe something that's a little bit more visually interesting. Very good walking in 5th position, though, Meg. Why is this shot so crowded with flowers? I don't like it's stupid. It's done. It's bad.
Dear Vicomte, gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, this is one visit I should prefer to make unaccompanied. Thank you.
Raoul picking up the bouquet, though, is a very nice change. I think that's good. That's funny.
Little Lottie, let her
Cutting out the "Where's your red scarf" thing, it makes a lot more sense in context for both of them knowing each other straight off the bat, especially for what is said earlier about her recognizing him, but him not recognizing her, and then him during Think of Me suddenly being like, oh my god, it's him. It just makes a lot more sense. Madame Giry, why are you letting the 40-year-old man kidnap the 16-year-old girl? This is not okay to do. In case you didn't know, Madame Giry. All the candles going out is actually really cool. A lot of people don't like it, and it's like, oh man, what is this? But like, he's supposed to be like a trickster and magician and like basically God. So like, I think it's a nice touch. Okay, his first line isn't good, but he has worse moments in the film. We can acknowledge that this isn't terrible. This overhead shot when the Phantom starts singing is also really cool. The mirror shot would have been so much better if we couldn't immediately see, like, all of him, which is mostly a fault of his costume and bad lighting, but, like, come on, guys. In the stage show, this scene is supposed to be, like, in the stage show, we aren't supposed to see most of him until, like, we get to his lair. And that is not the case here because of the lighting and just the way it's all put together. And you can just see all of him. There's no mystery, there's no anything. And it just doesn't read as real. It it's just not good. Also, where did all the smoke come from? And is the smoke diegetic? Oh, God, no. Match the energy to the shot. Big bombastic sound with tiny little handhold. This scene is fine if you watch it with the sound off, but you put that sound back on it, and it just doesn't match. It just doesn't go. Jean Cocteau arms? For why? For why? For why? For why? I hate that you can see his entire everything in the title song. There's no mystery, there's no anything. It's bad. It's a bad egg. Okay. The fact that his mask is flush with his face. We're going to go on a little rant about his mask here. So, in the stage show, his mask covers his deformity, which is an actual deformity in the stage show, whereas in this, we'll get to the deformity later. But the mask, it covers it and is held on by a wire, and it's a very visible wire because, of course, there has to be a wire. There has to be a way for it to, sit on his head. But in this, it's literally just a mold of Gerard Butler's face. Like, it literally rests over his face. That would not even rest over the deformity the way that it does on his face. Because, obviously, he's not wearing the deformity under the mask. Because there's no way that mask could do it. And also, how is it stuck on? There's no wire. There's no anything. You have to cut and essentially spirit gum it back onto his face in order to change it on. It's stupid. Do better. And the mask doesn't even look that good. Let's be real. The boat, however, I will say is cool. And that electric guitar riff, it's rad. I hate to admit it. It's rad. So are the candles that rise out of the lake, although they are an issue because on the stage, they rise out of the lake because it's a scene change. That's, it looks cool and it adds the mystery and whatnot. But you don't think, oh, wow, this is actually happening. Candles aren't literally rising out of the literal lake and literally lighting on fire. But then you get to the film, and apparently the candles rising out of the lake and lighting on fire is diegetic. Although, I will say, maybe it's actually not, because later in the film, in the final layer, you see that those candles are gone. But maybe, just because of the route they took, and he didn't, I guess, press the secret button in the floor, he didn't trigger them. I will say, I do like that he doesn't go straight into blaring his organ, and almost does this part calmly. It really, really works for the film.
To this kingdom where all must pay homage to music.
I see that cheat. He couldn't go lower, so he switches up the octave. I see you. I've done that before. Many times. Okay, listen, his costume isn't great. I really despise the gloves, and especially the mask. But it matches the tone of the film really well, and it matches everything else surrounding it. But the tone of the film isn't good, and so saying that doesn't mean a lot. Why is this man always smoldering even when he sings? It gives him duck lips that do not match the vowel he's singing at all. These goddamn candles. I can't with them. Too many candles. Put them out. Get them out. That's why he needs such a high salary, I guess, to pay for all these goddamn candles. How is his mask held on? There's no wire. Anything. This is just nasty. It's creepy. And compare this to how it's played on stage, and it's really clear to see how the faults show. Because to play the Phantom well, you kind of gotta do it as like a awkward, impossible to talk to women incel, while also being this big, powerful guy. This guy only knows big, powerful, sexy, confident. But with Christine, he just lets her touch him all over, which is a separate issue and kind of illegal. But it also is an issue, because in the stage musical, you can see that he's very hesitant. Like she touches his mask ever so slightly, and he freaks out and grabs her hand, realizes what he's done, and diffuses the situation immediately. And it's very well played. Here, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't hate the peacock bed, but I much prefer the coffin bed from the 1925 Phantom. It's just better. Okay, but like he held out that last note with a great tone. Go him. I actually really like the Meg in the tunnel thing, but hate it as well because it's very clearly made to set up Love Never Dies better, and anything to do with Love Never Dies is bad in my book. Despise it. Magical Lasso as a whole isn't bad in this film, it's just a flawed but necessary scene in the original musical, so there's not really much you can do about it. I love that there's no blaring organ that doesn't wake her up, but the monkey does. I still hate that the monkey wakes her up, though. Stupid monkey. You can tell she's taking your mask off. Stop her! Ew. You don't even have the deformity makeup on, which the deformity is not. It just isn't. You got stung by a bee. You're fine.
Damn you! You little prying Pandora! Damn you! You little prying Pandora!
Damn you! You little prying Pandora!
What raging fire shall flood the soul? What raging fire shall flood the soul?
What raging fire shall flood the soul?
Darkness deep as hell! Darkness deep as hell!
Darkness deep as
What raging fire shall flood the soul?
beast, but secretly dreams of beauty.
I never noticed that Beauty and the Beast reference in the lyrics. Nice. The spoken delivery of...
Come, we must return. Those two fools are in my theater. We'll be missing you.
was actually good in this. I think it works here. Definitely doesn't work in the stage, but works here. The note scene is terrible. Why are you loudly shout singing this in the foyer instead of, you know, in your office where you would typically check your mail and where, you know, this scene normally takes place? And why are you alone at the beginning? Also, you can hear the cut in the vocal takes right here.
Six get sold, gossip's worth its weight in gold.
Bad editing.
Have you seen the
Also, where is your note when you say...
It seems you've got one too. What's all this nonsense?
Patrick Wilson singing fantastic. Body acting here, not great. It evens out though. Why is everyone in this foyer? Where's their office? How does everyone know to just find them there?
Here, I have a note. Let me see it.
Yippee for saying please. Yay manners. Why the dolls? It doesn't make sense. It's weird. Stop it. No dolls. How is the ass-shaking man not fired? Why is there another dog? Where are they all coming from? The corset joke is actually kind of funny. This shoe shot is just bad. I hate this shot. It's bad. Poorly acted. Not very well sung. And it's just weird. Okay, Prima Donna as a number and as a scene is actually good. Again, I hate to admit it, but it is. It's boring, but it's fantastic. That breath was funny. Good job, filmmakers. That curtain closing transition is also good. Don't show his swapping the sprays, it ruins the mystery. Bad filmmakers. Funny wooden cowbell moment. The scrap metal joke is bad. Cut it out. Get it out of here. Okay, so what I wrote down here was stop cutting to the bomb. This is a reference to a clip of Alfred Hitchcock explaining essentially suspense.
People are sitting around a table. Suddenly, a bomb goes off, blows the people to smithereens. What do the audience have? 10 seconds of shock. Now take the same scene and tell the audience there is a bomb under that table and will go off in 5 minutes. But the whole emotion of the audience is totally different because you've given them that information. You can only get the suspense element going by giving the audience information.
So yes, this can be a way to create suspense. Give the audience information that the characters do not have. There is a bomb under the table.
Suspense is essentially an emotional process.
It's built on the anticipation of something.
So when I say stop cutting to the bomb, stop showing his every move. It ruins the mystery and makes him just less scary and less interesting. You should wonder how he does things and why. Not show his every move and, trick. A good magician never reveals his secrets. But here, the filmmakers reveal the secrets for the magician, and it ruins it. That throat noise sounds painful. Good job, filmmakers. The scrambling is so real. We do that sometimes as performers. Don't fire that guy. He's doing good. Good improv. The chase sequence isn't even that bad, but the repeated cutting to the hanging is. You can so clearly see Gerard Butler's eyebrow under his mask. It's kind of funny. Bad job, filmmakers. Again, this isn't a park and bark moment. You should have been frantic. A man was just hanged. Wasn't that bad. I kind of liked it. No. Here comes one of my least favorite things about the entire film. Why is he hiding behind a horse's ass? The rose falling actually wasn't a bad shot. That's good. I actually like this rendition of All I Ask of You a lot. It's really good. He pulls her out of the darkness into the light, literally, which is something that I never noticed before when watching this, and that was a really nice touch. Whether intentional or not, it was a really nice touch. And now, for the horse ass count. Seven times it cuts to him next to a horse's behind. I just noticed that they mirror Eric and Christine's pose during Music of the Night. That's cool. Point to the filmmakers, I guess. Okay, this is how this shot should have panned out. First off, instead of showing the Phantom throughout, should have just had his voice, not show him. Second off, instead of having that abrupt cut right there, what they should have done is taken that shot of them walking up the stairs, pan down, because you will have forgotten that the Phantom was even there. You have him pick up the rose, and then it's just great there. But that's not what they do at all. Bad filmmakers. Very bad choices here. More cuts, please. Less long shots on the Phantom just crying. It's horrible. It's a terrible egg.
You will curse the day you did not do.
Oh, God, no. It's the same note and you miss it every time. That transition was bad. The falling was bad. Woo, product placement. Okay, this god-awful masquerade scene. Where are all the colors that they literally sing about? It's also just poorly shot and edited. The arrangement and the vocal performance is alright, but they literally sing every face a different shade when their masks are literally only black and white. They talk about spinning colors, gritting reds, and there's none of that. And the choreography is fine, I guess. It's alright. Not great, not terrible. I like the voguing guy. Sorry. They repeat this shot, And it's not even a good shot either. Why are they speaking these lines? This could have been sung and it could have been great. They could have even like whisper sung it. But no, they decide that speaking it is the better option. Bad filmmakers. Bad. Spray bottle on your faces. This shot is so good. It's a shame his sexy Red Death costume ruins it. Why does Raoul leave her unattended? Where are you going? Like, obviously I know where you're going. I know what you're doing. It's clear to see in the moments after it happens. But still, leaving her alone? Not very smart, guy. Also, see this? This is the embodiment of Red Death. See this? This is sexy red man with skull. Bad. Bad. Bad costumers, in fact. I love the learn to be lonely / no one would listen motif, and I'm so upset that they cut out no one would listen, because it's such a good song. Okay, that exit, kinda sick. This is a nice reference to the torture chamber described in the book and shown in the 1925 film. It was a nice addition to see the fairground story have visuals. Although, helping him escape solves the plot hole of why Madame Giry is so close to the Phantom, that creates a whole new one about why the tunnels are built into the Opera House if he didn't build it. Okay, so she sees him murder a guy and is instantly like, yeah, let's help this guy escape. Very, very smart. Yeah. Okay, I have a theory actually. He could have built the tunnels on his own, or maybe with some secret and now dead help underneath it, which is why it would look so rough down there, and then by the time Christine got there, he could do his whole Phantom shtick and have his life figured out. Well, not quite figured out, he's still kind of a Gollum-y wretch, but it's still, you know, an interesting idea that could explain a lot of things, and solve that plot hole. I love Journey to the Cemetery as a piece. It is fantastically beautiful. Very well done. Raw standing guard outside her door? King shit. Him falling asleep on the job and letting her go through? Not so king shit. Him risking his balls by riding on bare horseback just to make sure she's alright? King shit. Again with the questionably diegetic smoke. Why is it here? I hear the complaint of wishing you were somehow here again and how it is basically just Christine walking, but how else are you going to do that scene? Be so for real. I like it. I think it works. The visuals for Wandering Child is actually really interesting to me. How Christine seems to be quote-unquote falling under the Phantom spell again, much like she did in the title track. And as soon as Raoul comes and interrupts, Christine's father's tomb goes back to cold, empty, dark, and the doors are closed again. It's a very interesting nod that I never noticed, and it was probably an accident. And now for the absolute worst part of this film, and the dumbest addition ever, the sword fight. Why is he jumping off the roof? What is you doing? It would be so funny to see how this scene would play out with their original book counterparts, because Raoul would die so fast, spoiled little me rich boy, and then like literal genius superhuman god guy. What do you mean? Okay, sir, you are caught. You should not have lived. This really takes away from the whole the world show no compassion to me thing, because Christine and Madame Giry have saved your life, and then after the sword fight, the Phantom's like, now let it be war between you both. In the stage show, this works so much better because he's throwing flaming balls of fire at them, and he never learned really how to grow up, and is therefore a petulant child. He sort of works under the mindset of, oh sure, just because I'm throwing flaming fireballs at you and you still don't want to marry me, I'll kill everyone then. It doesn't work here. And then the next scene is Raoul like, I know how to get him, as if you couldn't have just killed Eric in the last shot. And without the context of Twisted Every Way and the second note scene, it makes no sense for him to hatch up this plan of how they can stop him. It just doesn't work. There's also no magic self-playing piano in this film, and that itself is an issue, because that works, and is cool as heck. This works for me, but not for a lot of people, and I can also see why. Also, I love how he has no deformity! Also, the costuming for this film was great, but for Don Juan, and the Phantom, but for Don Juan, you can clearly see that that's the Phantom, unless Piangi just lost a lot of weight backstage and got a completely different voice. Also, the set on the stage is just terrible. Just straight up awful. She knows it's the Phantom. Why does this continue? You know what this intense sex duet needs? Tango Dancing Dread Pirate Roberts. I miss the stage costumes. Bring them back. They're so much better. What do you mean, wait? You know and acknowledge that that is the Phantom. What are you waiting for? Shoot him. They cannot be seen on the top of this pier, this bridge thing. This set is terrible. The way the ropes are in front of them, though, is kind of cool. That's all I have to say about that. Is he deformed or not? Make up your mind, film. Oh man, you fell into some poison ivy? That sucks. Where do they fall? How did their legs not break? Did they fall into water? If so, why are they not soaking wet? Did they fall on a crash pad? If so, where did that crash pad come from? There are so many things about this that just make zero sense. And also, one of the ropes is connected up to the chandelier that he rigged up? Huh? The chandelier crash is cool, though. Fantastic across the board on that. Oh god, no, not again. Rip headphone users, Gerard Butler's vocal cords, and the Opera House.
Why?
More like, why is this deformity so damn inconsistent? Okay, listen, the trap scene is terrible, and I know the complaint. Why is the escape for the trap in it? But if you think about it, the Phantom, while making it, needed a way out. And maybe this wasn't actually a trap. Maybe it was just used for something else, and it just happened to end up being one. But also the whole trap doors dropping down. It could have been a lot of different things, but still, the Phantom needed a way out in case he fell in it. So, Turney.
Face the infection which poisons our love.
Infection is right. You got pink eye. Nothing more.
Which earned our mother's fear and loathing.
Bro, how awful of a mother do you have if this is what scared her off? That is a great Chucky impression that you're doing with your face there. That's great. Why are you giving her back the ring that you took from her because Raoul gave it to her? You're going backwards. This isn't what you want.
The world showed no compassion to me.
No, but he showed you compassion. And so did she. He could have and should have killed you in the cemetery. You had one job, Raoul.
Up your hand to the level of your eyes. Nothing can say. This is the choice. This is the point of no return.
Ew.
Make your choice.
Okay, but like that does actually look kind of painful, if I'm honest. If he holds onto that rope hard enough and long enough, you will choke him out and maybe even to death. So there's a small threat there. Glad you could stand to kiss me despite my pink eye. Like, this does nothing. Bro, the worst part about this film is that there's no shots of Hadley Fraser in the background being grossed out. This godforsaken monkey! Here, have the ring that my fiance gave me, which you stole and then gave back as consolation, I guess. Or whatever. So much man rage. Okay, great. So Meg finds the mask and then it fades to black, right? Right? Nope. Of course, this complete show of a movie continues back to the narrative that is completely pointless. Why the monkey? Seriously, why? Again, the no one would listen motif is so pretty, though. It's really a shame that it was cut, but it makes sense that it was. Learn to Be Lonely is actually the best part of this film, by far. I actually really don't hate this movie. In fact, I really, really like it. The Phantom is still one of my favorite musicals. It is in my top 3, save, like, it is just under Sweeney Todd, which is my favorite. But this video is basically just me yapping and complaining so that my family doesn't have to hear me do it anymore. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe. Bye-bye.